but until right now I still haven't read it yet, so shame on me. Well, I buy books faster than I finish reading them, so okay. Hey guys, I'm Jessica and welcome to my channel. So for my very first video, I talk about books that I have read that's set in Malaysia or by Malaysian authors basically. So today, I'm going to recommend you books. Not actually recommend what? Hey guys, it's the editing Jessica here. So as I was editing my video, I realized that I have deleted one of the video that was supposed to be part of the introduction. So it's too bad that I couldn't retrieve it, and here am I trying to tell you guys what this video is all about. So basically in this video, I'm going to talk about the books that I plan to read in the future that are set here in Malaysia. So with that being said, let's go to the video again. So the very first book that I would like to share with you guys is this one. As you guys can see, the cover is so pretty. So it's called How the Man in Green Saved Pahang and Possibly the World by Joshua Kam. It is also the winner of the 2020 Aprogram Books Fiction Prize, as you guys can see here at the top. And I'm gonna read you guys a little bit of the synopsis. So a renegade prophet press gangs Kirsta and first witness Gabriel into a wild road trip down the Malaysian coast to fight the mafia, an existential threat to Malaysia and beyond. Meanwhile, in a sleepy town by the sea, Lydia traces the links between her late grand-aunt's eccentric lover and her involvement in the communist emergency. As all the parties converge on Pahang, Lydia and Gabriel must grapple with theologies and histories they once trusted, in a country more perilously punk than they ever conceived of. So, I've actually shared this synopsis with some of my friends, and they think that it's quite complicated. It sounds very complicated. For me, it is complicated, but I'm hoping to, I'm looking forward to read this one with my fellow buddy readers from Bookstagram. And one of them has been so excited about this book. It kind of gets a little bit on me. So even though for me it sounds complicated, but I'm still excited to explore the elements, just based on the synopsis. There's so many going on in this book, so I couldn't wait to read this one. So the second book that I would like to share with you guys is this one. It's called Among the White Moon Faces, Memoirs of a Nyonya Feminist by Shirley Gyotlin Lim. I think it's Lim Gyotlin. Lim would be the surname. So why I bought this book is because, of course, first of all, we have Nyonya over here. So I'm very excited about books that are, related to Baba Nyonyas or Chinese Peranakan. That's my heritage, that's where I'm coming from. So that's why I picked up this book. And it's a memoir. So I actually love memoir, but sometimes I feel like it could be a little bit heavy for me, or it's just not for me entirely. But because it has Nyonya in the title, I believe that I would definitely enjoy this one. And look at this. This is like a used book, so it has signed by the previous owner, I would say. And it written here, March 1997. I was only 1 year old by the time. So fun fact, now you know how old I am. Okay, now moving on, we have this one, another memoir. It's called Eat First, Talk Later by Beth Yap. It's a memoir of food, family, and home. Whatever you talk about Malaysia, you must talk about the food, of course. So I'm going to read you guys a little bit on the synopsis. So in this dazzling memoir that persuades her aging parents on a road trip around their former home, Malaysia, she intends to retrace their honeymoon of 45 years ago. But their journey doesn't quite work out as she planned. Only the family mantra, eat first, talk later, keeps them and perhaps the country from falling apart. Around them, corruption, censorship of media, detentions without trials, and deaths in custody continue. Protests are put down violently by riot police. So that's part of the synopsis. Just by reading the synopsis, I feel a little bit of I feel I'm gonna cry. But hopefully I wouldn't cry as much as I'm going through this memoir, but I know that this is going to be a really great read, and Okay, I'm just not gonna. Hopefully, I can read this in this month because it seems only relevant for me to read this book, or like sensible for me to read this book in this month, because just look at the cover. It has this hibiscus flowers, which is our national flower. It has this LCC tower, and I just love the cover so much. So yeah, moving on, we have, okay, this is a book that I actually won from a giveaway. So this book is called Di Sebalik Tirai Layar by Khidir Ali Razali. So this is a book written in Malay language. So it's talking about the film industry in Malaysia. As you guys can see from the cover, these are all like the old movies. These are all from the old movies. And one of the reasons why I picked this book after I won giveaway is because there's look at that, there's Ramlee on the cover.
Ujang lapor pakai songkok, basikal cabut tak pernah gosok. Tayar kempes roda bengkok, adam tetes macam kerupuk.
Growing up, I always watch like Ramlee movies. I was very excited, you know, about Ramlee movies. I feel like it brings you so much memories, you know. And some of the movies that I love. Okay, this time I have a list, guys. So some of the movies that I actually love: Bujang Lapuk, Madu 3, Labu Labi, and then we have Doremi, and then Ahmad Albab, Keluarga 69, and then Anakku Sazali. There's so many, you know, movies that with Ramlee in it, as well as the movies that are directed by him and also him as the main actor. I just have so much respect for this guy and all the films that he made and also the songs that he created. I still remember, you know, like I think TV2. Shout out to Malaysians out there. You guys know TV2 RTM station. So every single week there's this one night dedicated to just put on all his movies. So like every single week I'll just wait by, you know, like I'm not too sure, is it 10 p.m. or is it 9 p.m. But every single week, that day, I would sit in front of TV just waiting for the movie to, you know, be aired, and I'll just watch it with my family. It was a good family time as well, and just to watch those movies is very heartwarming as well. So yeah, right now is the right time and a good time for you guys to go and check out all the Ramlee movies because they're so good. Malaysians, I'm watching you guys. Okay, go watch the movies. So the next one we have here is also a Malay language book. It's called Kunang Pesisir Moten by Raiha Bahauddin. And this book is a fictional book, I believe. And I got this book, I think, at one of the Big Bad Wolf sale. And the reason why I got this book is because there are some Malaysians who suggested this book, and they say this book is really good. And it's about Kampung Morten. Okay, it's about Kampung Morten, one of the tourist attractions here in Malaysia. It's a village. Basic kampung means village, so it's a village in the town area of Malacca. But until right now, I still haven't read it yet, so shame on me. Well, I buy books faster than I finish reading them, so what can I do? But this is definitely one of the books that I really want to read. So next, this is one of the books that I just purchased. It's called King of the Sea by Dina Zaman. So this book, I'm going to read you guys the synopsis. So much of what has appeared in the media about Muslims in the last few years is alarmingly negative. Due to political developments in the Middle East, many Muslims feel that they are being typecast either as good moderates or evil fundamentalists. Ms. Dina very clearly demonstrates that there are many different shades and types of Malaysian Muslims and helps to break the bounds of such binary thinking. So I'm looking forward to read this one because this book is actually recommended to me, not really recommended to me, it's actually recommended by one of my Bookstagrammer friends as well. So once reading her review, I was like, you know what, this sounds like a good book. And because I haven't read many books that is, about Muslims, so I thought that this would be a good chance for me to read about them, and instead of just, because most of the books that I have are focusing on the Chinese, or I think basically Chinese or the Baba Nyonyas, because that's who I am. But that's why I just rarely, or I don't read enough books that have Muslim representation in it. So I thought this would be a good one, a good start. So next one we have this one. So this book is called Bittersweet Harvest by Chen Ling Yap, and I heard that this is a sequel, guys. This is a sequel, but the seller also said that it's fine for me not to read the first book, and I can also read this like individually. So I'm going to read you guys part of the synopsis. Set in a Malaysia emerging from the outbreak of racial conflict in 1969, Bittersweet Harvest tells of the difficulties and tensions involved in marriage between a Malay Muslim and a Christian Chinese. So I am really intrigued, okay, by this book because of that first is it sentence? Yeah, it's the first sentence. So that first sentence of the synopsis really intrigued me, because first of all, it's set in Malaysia during that racial riots, okay, and then also it has this interracial marriage, which I'm really excited and looking forward to read about, because I feel like right now this kind of thing still going on, you know, this kind of issues and perspective about Chinese marrying Muslim is still an issue that is ongoing right here in Malaysia. So I would definitely love to read and explore more about this issue, and just, you know, see, is it like how differently, you know, people think, and how like Malaysians back then and right now, how much like, you know, they have changed, or how much they have not changed. So that's why this one. And then next book that I would like to talk about is, this is also one of my current purchase, which is actually suggested by the seller herself. So this book is called Sister Swing. It's also by Shirley Lim Gyut Lin. So this book is about Malaysians, okay. This book is first set in Malaysian, and I believe afterwards they moved to America. So it's like a story of so the next book that I will share with you guys is this one, The Red Bicycle by Dave Anthony. So I've been seeing this book quite a while, I think ever since years ago. I've seen this around a lot, but only earlier this year, or was it last year, that I bought this book. Yeah, and I still haven't read it yet, I know. Okay, so this book, I'm gonna read you guys the synopsis. The brave fighters of the Communist Party of Malaya lived hard lives in the jungles, pledging allegiance to the party above all else. But despite their dedication, many were lost due to a traitor in their midst, one so high-ranking that nobody would have suspected him. Dave Anthony's historical novel follows the developing love of two of the guerrilla fighters, the multiple identities of their beloved leader, and the uneasy cooperation between the British and the Communists against their common enemy. So I'm excited to read this one, as well as all of the books. I'm excited to read all of them, guys. I won't repeat it for the rest of the 3 books. I'm excited to read them, all of them. Okay, so this book again is set in history, set in the past, historical novel. Same with this one, same with some other few of them. And the next one, immigrants of them, you know, like of the Asians moving to America, maybe for like a better opportunity of some sort. But I'm really looking forward to read this one. It sounds really good already, because I read the first page and it sounds pretty good. So I'm looking forward to read this one. Then the next book that we have, I think I should speed up a little bit because it's really 10 minutes, guys. I still have like 5 more books. Okay, so the next one we have none other than Tan Ton Ing's The Gift of Rain. So, fun fact. Okay, fun fact. I hope that the author doesn't see this video or don't watch this video, because last year, is it last year or earlier this year? I think it's earlier this year. I went to his meet and greet, or like book signing event, and I got both of my books, this one and also this one, signed by the author. So here's the proof for you guys. So at that time I read this book halfway, and until right now I still read it halfway. I have no excuse, guys. I like to read like multiple books at the same time. It's not that this book is not good, guys. It's not that this book is not good, but I just love to read multiple books at the same time. And then, like, you know, I start new books, new reads, and the old ones just, you know, get set aside, and I just don't go revisit them anymore. But this is a good chance for me to, you know, continue reading this one. And then we were talking about this one, Gift of Rain. Okay, so this book is set in Penang, 1939. Okay, 16-year-old Philip Hutton is a loner, half English, half Chinese, and feeling neither. He discovers a sense of belonging in an unexpected friendship with Hayato Endo, a Japanese diplomat who trains him in the arts and discipline of Aikido. But the enigmatic Endo is bound by disciplines of his own, and when the Japanese invade Malaya, threatening to destroy Philip's family and everything he loves, he realizes that his trusted sensei has been harboring a devastating secret. Philip must risk everything to save those closest to him and to discover who and what he really is. So that synopsis sounds convincing enough, and just look at the cover. It's basically shining. So yeah, it's set in Penang, and it's about the Japanese occupation, and I'm looking forward to read this one, really. But firstly, I need to finish this one. Okay, so this book is called The Seed by Gita K. This is published by Fixie Novel, and I'm intrigued to read this book because it is about the 14th general election, and there's this one quote here at the back of the cover. I'm gonna read you guys. Segambut is symbolic for Malaysia. This is a crucial seat. When you go out to vote, remember the nation is looking at you, Segambut voters. So I'm intrigued with this one because it's talking about the present. Like earlier, a lot of the books that I was talking about is talking about the past, and this one right here is talking about the present. So I'm very, very excited to, you know, read this one and just look into what the author of this book has to say about the current situation right here in Malaysia. So hopefully I'll get to this very, very soon. All we can do is keep hoping. And then next one we have is this one right here, What I Saw in Malaya, by Jean Cusinia, sorry. So this author explored Malaya, mostly Kelantan, in 1932 and 1933. In her lectures on Radio Paris, made public in this book for the first time since their broadcast in 1935, and in other texts assembled here, she shared her vivid and affectionate insights into the diverse cultures of Malaya, providing precious and thought-provoking perspectives to today's reader. So I think the synopsis itself is very self-explanatory. I wish I can speak English better. Yeah, so that's why I'm intrigued to read this one, just because of the synopsis and to see, you know, what kind of content would it be, you know, from the lectures. Okay, so for the last book is this one. Whoops. Okay, so this is called The Principal Girl, Feminist Tales from Asia, edited by Sharifah Aisha Osman and Tutu Duta. One of the editors, I think Sharifah Aisha Osman, paid a visit to my previous teacher institution where I studied before, and then I asked my lecturer, you know, to give me like the contact or the email. So I reached out to her and got my book signed. And this is not a review copy, guys. This actually, I purchased it from her and then asked her to sign it for me. So this was like, I think 2 years ago. I can't remember, guys. Basically consists a lot of like Asian legends or myths, and some of them actually focuses, I think all of them focus on the female characters in the folklores, in the myths. So I'm excited to read this and see, you know, how have they edited and adapted the stories, and just focusing on some of the female figures such as Hang Lipo, Princess of Mauladang, Draupadi, Queen Vishpala, Kaula binti Azwa, Masuri, Cik Siti One Cambodia, and you know, all those sort of like, if you are living in Malaysia, you have maybe heard of them, but if you have not, this could be a good introduction to you guys. So I think that's all I have for now. Those are all the books that I have, you know, planned to read in the future, but I'm not sure when. So I think there are a total of like 12 books or maybe 13, I'm not too sure. But hopefully you enjoyed this time's video, and I'm sorry that, you know, it gets too draggy because there's so many books that I want to talk about. Like, I could have separated this video into 2, but I wouldn't do it because I don't know. If you guys would love to subscribe, go ahead and let me know what are the books that, you know, you are excited to read as well in the comment below, or like there are other book recommendations. I welcome you to comment down there because I love to buy books. Yep. What's new? So until I see you guys again in my next video.